Exciting news to announce. Sandringham College has got $10 million allocated to it, which is wonderful news for that terrific school. Great principal, great school board, great school community, great teachers and great students. And that'll be wonderful because Sandringham College can now start the development that they've been asking for many, many years. I've been really thrilled to back Sandringham College because it is such a great school community. That $10 million will go towards the stage 1 development of their overall master plan, which is being finalised at the moment. In further exciting news, Beaumaris Secondary College, what a wonderful community asset that is and that has become in recent years. $18 million, just over $18 million in fact, allocated for Beaumaris Secondary College. Now that will extend the teaching and learning area along Balcombe Road, allowing them to have full capacity for the students that are allocated to that school, and also for the duplication of their gymnasium as well. So 2 very exciting projects happening in the area which will kick off in the next 6 months. But the advocacy for schools doesn't really stop there. Mentone Girls Secondary College is the only girl-only non-select entry school in this part of Melbourne. I want to back the future generation of female leadership, not just in our community, but right around our state. And I'm calling on the state government to put their hand in their pocket and to fund Mentone Girls Secondary College with development works at that school. State governments in the last 2 to 3 decades have not contributed a cent of major infrastructure works to Mentone Girls Secondary College, and that school deserves better. So the fight continues, and we'll be doing just that. You may have recently heard about some controversy between Daniel Andrews and China and this Belt and Road initiative, and what I wanted to do in just 2 minutes was explain to you what this BRI is. So firstly, China is not a democracy. They've only got one political party that controls their government, and that is the Communist Party. Belt and Road Initiative is a comprehensive strategic framework developed by the Chinese Communist Party for the benefit of China, not the benefit of Victoria. BRI is not an infrastructure deal, but rather a communist political strategy designed to advance the reach of Beijing. The Belt and Road Initiative involves the Chinese Communist government making deals with national governments in Asia and the Pacific region. These deals are supposedly about China working with other nations to build the infrastructure that is required to service their populations. But the reality is quite different. Firstly, the Belt and Road project establishes a favourable treatment to Chinese companies on construction projects. That means that China will be given priority over the 127,000 Victorians who have lost their job last month. Chinese companies have already been given favourable treatment in many of the government's key infrastructure projects, such as the Metro Tunnel project and the Westgate Tunnel project. Although the agreement says that China needs to grant favourable access to companies in the country that it makes the deal with, we know that China does not play by the rules. In fact, China recently indicated that they would place an 80% tariff on Victorian barley export. This violates the rules of the Belt and Road Initiative and also breaches regular international trading rules too. The Belt and Road project is also an example of the so-called debt diplomacy. In some countries like Sri Lanka and Papua New Guinea, governments can't afford to pay back Chinese companies that build projects. So when they can't pay China back, China just takes ownership of those assets. This has enabled China to control ports and highways across the Asia Pacific. Now, the Andrews Labor government is $71 billion in debt. Major infrastructure projects are running over budget. Labor ministers have refused to rule out that funding the completion of these projects won't put Victoria into debt with China. So it looks like China's tightening the belt and Daniel Andrews and putting Victorian projects on the road to ownership by a foreign government. Put simply, we just cannot stand for it. So while Daniel Andrews is preferencing China over Victorian jobs, what we really need now is a plan to preference Victorian jobs and Victoria's economy coming out of coronavirus. 127,000 of our fellow Victorians lost their jobs last month. Now those aren't Victorians who are receiving the federal government's JobKeeper payment. That's in addition to those people. And that's 127,000 families now who are without an income. So what we need, in my view, is a plan to kickstart Victoria's economy, a plan to restart businesses and to get people back into work. And Liberal leader Michael O'Brien has done just that. He's produced this document, a Victoria's plan, Victorian Liberal plan to get Victorians back to work and back in business. It's a very good document that I commend to you for your consideration. It covers off 4 very important topics: securing personal finances, rebuilding local economies, building better communities, and keeping our families safe. Please have a look.